Part 6. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 51. Chapter 51. The sound of the door collapsing. Fenling had not taken away all her things. There were still several books she usually read on the table, as if to tell everyone that she would come back. Feng Shuang came once during the trip, but left after seeing the book through the window that was basically all in English and whose names were incomprehensible. Someone else probably borrowed Fenling's table. Even she couldn't understand such a profound book, let alone Fenling. She really dropped out of school, Li Yishan asked when she saw Feng Shuang standing up. A group of other people are also paying close attention to this matter. Feng Shuang nodded slightly, that should be the case. I just passed by and my sister didn't put her things on the table. After speaking, Feng Shuang sighed, sister, she really did something wrong this time. If she can apologize to everyone, maybe she can come back. Why are you coming back? I wish she could leave. Leaving those results here will be a drag. Li Yishan said disdainfully. They are preparing for the provincial and municipal unified examinations. She has asked her father to find out. The teachers at the other two schools this year are no worse than them. After learning that there was a murderer in their school, they didn't know how many people were laughing at them behind their backs. If Fenling stays here, it will be a disaster. Others nodded and agreed with Li Yishan's statement. Shuang, don't worry about your sister. Do you appreciate her if you worry about her? That is, your sister is a vicious-minded woman and a murderer. Why did she enter our school and bring down our average score? For someone like her, the death penalty is not an exaggeration. Team 9 also has to thank us for eliminating a stealth bomb for them. Ha 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 ha. Feng Shuang pursed her lips and said nothing. Fenling, this time you committed suicide on your own, so you can't blame me. She just pushed the boat along. After all, it is said in the book that if a man does not do it for himself, he will be punished by heaven and earth. Shan, do you know any hackers? What's wrong? Do me a favor. After Fenling came out of school, she went to the research institute. Those old men kept a bunch of experiments every day without doing anything, but they knew how to care about her. Those few people must have jumped by now. If she could just calm her down, she would forget about being free and breathing fresh air. Fenling sighed. Sometimes, having too many vests is not a good thing. FL Research Institute is named after Fenling. 3 years after its establishment, all difficult and complicated diseases that cannot be solved at home and abroad can be treated by FL, and almost all of them cannot be cured. As for the founder of the institute, Zero, no one has ever seen her true face since the establishment of the institute. Her whereabouts will always be a mystery, and even the super aristocratic Ye family has never found her. No one knows that Fenling is Zero, and Zero is Fenling. In Fenling's words, everyone at the FL Institute has achieved their current achievements because of her. As the saying goes, a mother is a mother if she has breasts. After raising for her sons, she accidentally turned into a daughter. A group of parents and grandparents stared at her like a granddaughter, fearing that she would bump into her. This was also the reason why Fenling was unwilling to go back. Why does that one at the door look so much like my baby? Dr. Sun, who had white hair and wore bulky lenses, moved from under the microscope to the door. What? Where? The baby is back, another researcher peeked his head from behind Dr. Sun. The voices of the two people attracted a crowd of research institute staff. Before Fenling could enter the research institute's gate, she saw a large group of people rushing towards her, and she seemed to have heard the sound of the door collapsing. Fenling. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 52. Chapter 52. I can't stand upright and feel dizzy. If she remembers correctly, it was less than half a year since she last came back to find someone to repair the door. She worked hard outside to make money to take care of her children. When they got home, they started to spend money to eliminate misfortunes as soon as they met. Good, very good. Fen Ling's whole body was filled with air conditioning, her face turned dark, and her dark eyes were fixed on the crowd surrounding her. The next second, she heard screams one after another. Fen Ling rubbed her fists, looked at the mess on the ground, and said expressionlessly, "This month's salary will be deducted." By the door. 20 researchers who have been released and can be looked up to by the public. Is it still too late to kneel down on the durian? At the headquarters of FL Research Institute, Fen Ling was sitting on a chair surrounded by stars, and more than 20 eyes from all directions focused on her, making her feel like a sheep in a tiger's mouth. How is Xiao Linling's life at school recently? Are there any bad people bullying you? Xiao Lingling, if a bad person bullies you, just tell us and we will help you beat him up. Yes, yes, I heard that someone has made rumors and slandered you recently. Don't worry, we have sent a warning letter to Lingyang High School. Our little Lingling is the most expensive baby in the world. Which sponsor can afford to raise it? Then you must not go bankrupt. A bunch of blind guys. Fen Ling thought of the dog that was willing to pay 1 million at every turn. Well, but, that dog might really be able to keep her. But you sent a warning letter to the school. Fen Ling squinted her eyes, her tone was a bit dangerous. You just sent a warning letter. This doesn't seem to be like these people's style. Everyone shook their heads in panic. Only a warning letter. Nothing else. Really, Fen Ling didn't believe it. Really, I didn't ask anyone to beat up the Dean of Academic Affairs and the Vice President. I promise I didn't hit them with my car on purpose. We are all law-abiding and good citizens, and we definitely don't pretend to be ghosts to scare people. Fen Ling. Quick, give her some high blood pressure pills, she is so angry with these children. I feel a little unable to stand now and feel dizzy. Violent injury? Intentional murder? Intimidation and threats? Is this what I taught you before? Huh, Fen Ling's voice was quite low. At this time, it felt as sinister as the black and white Wuchang who only held their necks. Several researchers silently retracted their necks into their collars. Suddenly they felt a little annoyed that the collars were too shallow and they couldn't retract their heads. Fen Ling clasped her hands behind her back, hating that iron could not make steel. You think my vest is not falling off fast enough, and you want to help me. Then the people all over the country will regard you as a giant panda. No, Xiao Lingling belongs to us. Everyone shook their heads in unison. At this time, we are quite united. Fen Ling rolled her eyes and didn't want to talk to these sons. The sons were too impulsive and it was very tiring to be a mother. Where is the master? Has he sent any message to you? Since she left the Alliance, all news from the Alliance has been transmitted through the master. Luo City was very quiet these days, but it was a little too quiet, and she always felt that something was wrong. Yes, my master sent me a letter yesterday. We didn't open it, and we were preparing to send it to you, Xiao Lingling, today. Lao Sun handed the envelope to Fen Ling. Opening it, it was an ordinary letter from home. Fen Ling touched her ear calmly. There was a button inside. Touching the mechanism would activate the special lenses in her eyes. That is the contact information of the Alliance. Only through this special lens can the real content be seen. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 53. Chapter 53. Let me see if you are dead. The tree wants to be quiet, but the wind doesn't stop. Alliance. Xiao Lingling, what did Master say? Mr. Sun grinned in an ugly way. Fen Ling put the paper away and said with a normal expression, nothing. I am concerned about you on a daily basis. How many branches have you changed since the establishment of FL Research Institute? Especially, do you have a grudge against that sect? Over and over again, it doesn't last long. Everyone looked at Feng Ling with guilty conscience and said nothing. When the little ancestor is angry, silence is the last word. Feng Ling took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in her heart. She sucked, she couldn't be angry, she couldn't be angry. She is still waiting for them to make money for her. Is Feng Kang's report out? It has been a while since the last time she gave medicine to Feng Kang. 2 days ago, she asked people from the institute to go to Feng's house to do a full body examination on Feng Kang. The report should be out by now. Mr. Sun nodded and said, "It's out. All indicators are normal. Surgery can be performed in about a week." He paused and continued, "Xiao Lingling, the whole world is looking for you now. You suddenly took over the Feng family's order. I'm afraid that group of people will not let this opportunity go, especially the people from the Blood Evil Alliance. 3 years ago, when Feng Ling was on a mission, she had a dispute with the Blood Evil Alliance and was captured into the Blood Evil Alliance. As a result, the two bosses made each other suffer a lot, and Feng Ling almost ended up wiping out his family. So these years, the Blood Fiend Alliance has been looking for Feng Ling all over the world. Once he was found, Mr. Sun trembled, and suddenly he didn't want his little Lingling to take the order. Feng Ling had a headache when she heard about the Blood Evil Alliance. When God Killer captured her and tortured her for 3 days and nights, she ran out in the middle of the night and accidentally walked into his room and saw him by chance. The dead man fought with her all day and all night, but she didn't get any better. After he came back, he lay in the hospital bed for a full half a month. How come he has been searching for her all over the world for 3 years? It's simply a shaft. She waved her hand tiredly. The matter of killing gods will be postponed for now. My grandfather's illness cannot be left untreated. As for that dead man, if he really finds her, the worst he can do is cut off his descendants this time." Feng Ling raised her lips and smiled quite sinisterly. A sneeze. A sneeze. A sneeze. Someone in Yejia, Jingcheng, sneezed several times in a row. Ye Qinghan rubbed his nose. He didn't know why, but it didn't feel like a good thing. "Where is the miracle doctor? Didn't you say you would find a miracle doctor for me? How long has it been? Where is the miracle doctor?" In the room, the harsh sound almost burst the eardrums. A scrawny old man with almost no visible flesh was lying on the bed, surrounded by a group of people. Through the crowd, he pointed at Ye Qinghan with a trembling finger and said, "Tell him to get over here." "What?" Ye Qinghan walked over with no expression on her face. It was as if the grandfather in front of him was not his grandfather at all. "I asked you to find a miracle doctor, why did you find a home for me?" "Oh, let me see if you are dead." Ye Qinghan glanced at him a few times and said with anger, "It looks like there are only a few days left. It's best not to be angry. Being angry will only speed up death. Ye Feng has pancreatic cancer. Once this kind of cancer is discovered, you won't live long, so Ye Feng is so eager to find change." Ye Feng couldn't take a breath. His eyes, which had grown big due to weight loss, were as wide as bells. "I am your grandfather. You are hoping that I will die so that you can get your inheritance, right? I tell you, there is no way. Don't even think about it." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 54. Chapter 54. I've been busy lately and haven't had time to collect the corpses. The Ye family was originally prosperous. If this boy had not been born with evil in his life, there would not be only Yeji left in Ye Qinghan's generation. If there was really no one to inherit, how could he let Ye Qinghan take control of the Ye family? "Ye Feng, I am the person in charge of the Ye family now. In other words, the entire Ye family belongs to him, and he does not care about Ye Feng's inheritance at all. Ye Qinghan looked at the old man in front of him indifferently and told the nurse, "Take good care of him and try not to die so early. I am busy recently and have no time to collect the body." On the bed, Ye Feng had a mouthful of blood stuck in his throat. "You bastard! Really a traitor?" Ye Qinghan went back and left the capital quickly, as if he really came to see if Ye Feng was dead. After hearing the news, Ye Feng in the hospital bed instantly felt pain all over his body, and the painkillers for cancer were no longer useful. "How is Ye Ji doing lately?" "Same as before, still stupid and silly," Wen Xiao said while putting the car into gear. "What? Do you doubt Ye Ji? He is the only one alive among the mysterious deaths in the Ye family in the past few years." Ye Qinghan squinted his eyes, and Ye Feng wanted to change. On the one hand, he wanted to grab his last life-saving straw, and on the other hand, he wanted Ye Ji to get better. Ye Feng wholeheartedly believed that he was destined to be evil, but he didn't know that there might be someone else who was causing trouble to the Ye family. Wen Xiao took a deep breath and said, "If it is really Ye Ji, then he is too scary." That was the lives of more than a dozen people in the Ye family. The sky was gloomy, and soon it began to rain lightly. Dark clouds filled the air, covering the entire Sunday. The entire city became dark under the large dark clouds. Ye Qinghan looked out the window, holding a piece of paper in his hand. The trees wanted to be quiet, but the wind didn't stop. After 3 years, is it finally time to start? Feng Ling did not send any news to the alliance. According to the news on her master's piece of paper, the alliance is currently preparing for war and should have no time to care about her affairs. She asked Yao Lang to send a message to the Feng family, informing them of the surgery in a week. On this day, when Feng Ling went online again, a pop-up window prompted an invitation to join the team. It was from the Wuji team. There was no private messaging, no contact, just an invitation to join the team. Feng Ling touched her chin and wondered if her current worth was already so low. Invite her to join the team and send an invitation link. Without thinking for a second, Feng Ling directly refused. The promised team. Damn it, Brother Chen, she refused. What? How could she refuse? Does she know what our Wuji team's reputation is in China? Zhang Chenzi frowned and said, "Send it again." Yes, maybe someone accidentally clicked the wrong one. The team member clicked the invitation again with a trembling heart. The next second, continue to refuse. Everyone. Brother Chen, it seems like she really doesn't want to join our team. For a while, the atmosphere within the Wuji team was a bit awkward. In the esports circle, due to the reputation of their team Wuji, everyone was trying to get in. This month, they all personally sent invitations to her, but she refused twice without thinking. What is going on in this man's mind? I'll find her personally. Zhang Chenzi turned on the computer and waited for the account to be logged in. Why refuse? Zhu, you invite me to come? If this is the case, how much milk does she have to produce to feed the little wolves behind her? Is she free? You have no reason to refuse. Feng Ling. Is this person's brain abnormal? End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 55. Chapter 55. Am I young like this? It just so happened that Zai Zai in the team invited her to play a dungeon at this time, and Feng Ling agreed without hesitation. Over there, Zhang Chenzi waited for a long time but no one responded. His originally gentle face became a little bit chapped, gloomy and broken. 9. Moon. Boss. Inform the people in the glory battlefield to ban Juyu. I don't want to see her appear in this game anymore, Zhang Chenzi said without any human touch, and his tone was cold. Everyone looked at each other and stopped paying attention to Feng Ling. Those who are banned by the Zhang family are considered to have come to an end in the esports circle. It's a pity that this month, I could have become a star player in the esports circle. Who told her to be ignorant? Honglian, the development company of Glory Battlefield, is the #1 game company in China. It was founded 3 years ago with an unknown founder. Its Jianghu order has become one of the most popular games in the world today. Nowadays, its emerging game Glory Battlefield is also growing steadily. Vice President, the Zhang family came in and asked us to help block a person. Who you slumped on his desk without any image, not looking like a vice president at all. The employee rubbed his eyes and found it was quite spicy. Glory Battlefield, account ID Juyu. What, who you suddenly became energetic, can you tell me again? Damn it, what does the Zhang family mean? The first one gave her gifts and money in order to cooperate with them, but the second one wanted to ban her xiao. Do you believe that she knocked the entire Zhang family's brains to the ground with a hammer and turned them into mincemeat? Employee. What kind of evil has he done today to come here and suffer this kind of cardiac arrest? That, Vice President. Go and tell Zhang Shenghua's grandson that if you don't have that sincerity, don't talk about cooperation, don't even think about cooperation between Minlian and the Zhang family. Huo Biao felt that he was still not relieved after his outburst. He pointed at a pile of gifts in the corner that were almost covered with dust, and raised his hand in disgust. Throw all these things back to Jiang's house. Let's not talk about occupying space, but it's still disrespectful to others. But speaking of her little Jiao, it seems that I haven't seen her for a while. Huo looked at the young employee and suddenly smiled. Look, am I young like this? Small employee. Hello, is it 110? His vice president is crazy. Zhang Chenzi has been in trouble recently. I don't know what went wrong with Minlian. The contract was negotiated and the time for signing the contract was set, but suddenly he went back and said that the Zhang family was not sincere. Zhang Shenghua became very angry and asked him if he had done anything to make Feng Lian angry. Zhang Chenzi was really wronged. He has done nothing recently except to solve Juyu. Could it be that Juyu? No, it's impossible. If Juyu has anything to do with Niulian, how can he still compete with them for the 50,000 yuan? What's more, he had never heard of anyone named Juyu in the 3 years since the establishment of the Niu League. After going to Luo City, play the game well, and you won't have to interfere in the affairs of the Minlian and the Zhang family. Father, Zhang Chenzi wanted to write something, but was interrupted by Zhang Shenghua. You should know your own value and don't let me disappoint you. Yes, Father. Zhang Chenzi suppressed his temper and bowed his head obediently. Zhang Shenghua is a person who values interest more than his life. If Fan Lian said he was wrong, then he is wrong. I will play the game well, please don't worry, Father. I have already found a school for you in Lingyang High School. I am #1 in competitions, but my test scores don't make me embarrassed. The Zhang family doesn't need someone who is incapable of success. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 56. Chapter 56. If it's crooked, then it's crooked. Zhang Chenzi pursed his lips, as if he wanted to say something else, but in the end there was only a faint yes left in the air. Brother Chenzi, don't worry, Lingyang High School's teaching staff is the strongest in Luo City and they will not let you down. Feng Ling unlocked the door and heard the words Brother Chenzi. Inherit it? Zhang Chenzi? The door opened, and the 4 people in the living room looked at the door. Feng Ling's expression was quite playful. Just as he declined Zhang Chenzi's invitation to join the team, Zhang Chenzi came to the Su family. Zhang Chenzi, captain of the Wuji team. Are you Shuang's sister? I don't know why, Zhang Chenzi always felt that this voice was very familiar, but for a while he couldn't remember where he had heard it. Just treat it as an impression from childhood. After all, Zhang Qinzi met Feng Ling several times when he was a child, and it was those meetings that made the Zhang family and Feng family get engaged. But who would have thought that Feng Ling would grow crooked later, not only was not good at studies, but also became a murderer and spent 3 years in prison. The distance between Zhang Qinzi's words is obvious. Feng Ling found it quite interesting. When she was a child, Zhang Qinzi and Feng Shuang met less often than she did. After so many years, their attitudes changed so much when they met again. How do you feel about the child you breastfed growing crooked? Feng Ling took a deep look at Zhang Qinzi, and then sighed, forget it, she has more children now, and this one is not enough. Furthermore, when I pretended to be a close friend online and let Zhang Qinzi to play games to get high points, it was not just to nurse the children, but also to make money. Theoretically speaking, Zhang Qinzi is not considered her direct disciple. If it is crooked, then it is crooked. Feng Ling was carrying her bag and was about to go upstairs. Feng Shuang suddenly stopped her and said, "Sister, you and brother Qinzi finally meet each other. Let's sit down and have a chat before leaving." Feng Ling stopped, took a look at the harmonious atmosphere below, and said lightly, "I'm not familiar with it, I don't have time." She also had to review Feng Kang's surgical plan and was very busy. "Feng Ling, what's your attitude? After all, he finally came here, but you don't know how to entertain guests. After 3 years in prison, you don't even know how to write the word polite." Tian Hui now dislikes everything about Feng Ling. "You live in the Su family now. If you go out, it will represent the face of our Su family. You are shameless, and I still want shame. Born to the same parents, how come they are both so sensible? Are you making a noise? It's so annoying every day." Su Zioxi dropped the apple in her hand and walked upstairs angrily. She now feels physically uncomfortable with the words Feng Shuang. That's right, she didn't want to go downstairs anyway. Feng Ling glanced at Su Zioxi's room and said calmly, "Don't worry, we will move out soon." "Move out? Where are you moving to?" "Emperor Ling." "Emperor Ling?" "Feng Ling, I think you are daydreaming." Tian Hui didn't want to waste any more time talking to Feng Ling. Emperor Ling lived in wealthy and aristocratic families. It was difficult for a family like the Su family to enter Emperor Ling. Feng Ling actually said that she was going to live with Emperor Ling? It's just an international joke. Feng Shuang's eyes were full of ridicule. "Sister, although you have 500 million from your parents, Emperor Ling must not only be rich, but especially if you have a criminal record, it is even less likely that Emperor Ling will let you move in. What's more, your recent reputation has been..." Feng Shuang seemed to think of something while speaking, and nervously stopped the car. "I'm sorry, sister, I didn't mean it, I..." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 57. Chapter 57. I hope you will keep it in mind. Tian Hui grasped the key point. What has she done recently? "Aunt, I..." "Tell me, Aunt doesn't blame you." Tian Hui patted Feng Shuang's back. Those who didn't know thought Feng Shuang was going to say something bad to Tian Hui. Feng Ling was no longer in a hurry and leaned sideways on the armrest, as if watching a good show. Feng Shuang bit her lip and described Feng Ling's incident in a sobbing voice. She did not forget to say to Feng Ling with tears in her eyes, "Sister, I'm sorry, I really didn't mean it. But my aunt is our parent after all, so it would be inappropriate not to tell her about such a big thing. Look, there are many good people who are fooling." While saying that she didn't mean it, she said it was her fault for not telling Tian Hui. Feng Shuang has told Tian Hui now, and she should thank her. Although this trick is quite disgusting, let alone it is quite useful. After all, so many people believe it, right? Ba bang bang, Feng Ling raised her hand and applauded Feng Shuang. "Tisk, tisk, tisk, Feng Shuang, you are so eloquent, it would be a pity for your talent not to join an MLM organization. Black and white are seamlessly reversed, which is not something ordinary people can do. Even the head of an MLM has to go through several years of training. Feng Shuang, maybe this is something he is born with? Sister, how can you say that to me? I am doing this for your own good. After all, dropping out of school is a big deal. Besides, my uncle worked hard to get you into Lingyang High School. How can you be worthy of your uncle if you drop out now? Everyone thinks that Feng Ling got into Lingyang High School because of Su Ming's connections. Feng Shuang doesn't think that a person who has just been released from prison can enter Luo City's #1 military management school without relying on connections. Anyway, go to school and apologize to me right away. Feng Ling, do you know how difficult it is to get into Lingyang High School? It's a good thing for you, not only did you drop out of school, but you also made me lose such an adult outside. How do you want others to see Shuang and the Su family? Tian Hui was furious. She felt that since she met Feng Ling, she had never been at ease. Originally, Su Zioxishan's temper was enough for her, but now here comes another ancestor who is even more difficult to serve. Why can't we learn from each other well and get closer together like her family? Tian Hui weakly pointed at the housekeeper, take her to school now to apologize. Don't come back today until you finish your apology. My admission into Lingyang High School has nothing to do with Su Ming. Moreover, is it difficult to enter Lingyang High School? Feng Ling really didn't understand that Lingyang High School's current top score was not worth mentioning in the capital. When Xiao Wan came to her, he also said that the school's performance was too poor and he hoped she would take care of him. Who gave them the illusion that it was difficult to enter Lingyang High School? If it is difficult to get into Lingyang High School, then how bad are their grades? Feng Ling looked at the two people singing and harmonizing, feeling quite complicated. Should she tell them that when she was still studying at Lingfeng High School, the students at the bottom of the grade in Lingyang High School could beat the top students in the eyes of teachers today? Forget it, they can't bear this blow. I have not gone through the withdrawal procedures, and I am not from the Su family. Tian Hui, I hope you will keep everything I said today in mind. Don't worry, I will move out today. De Ling's house only lacks some furniture, so it was barely enough to live in. The housekeeper received Tian Hui's instructions and stepped forward to pull him away, but Feng Ling easily dodged him and kicked him down the stairs. After careful calculation, he won't die and it's no big deal. At most, there are a few bumps on the head. Feng Ling lifted her feet and continued to climb the stairs. Tian Hui's voice below was like a shrew, it's reversed, it's all reversed. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 58. Chapter 58, My daughter is too arrogant, I have to work hard as a mother. At the corner, Su Zioxi stood there holding a big raccoon. There was a nice patch on the top of the raccoon's head, which had faded and looked a bit old. You are leaving. Su Zioxi squeezed the big raccoon's hand, feeling a little nervous. Can't bear to let me go. Who can't bear to leave you? Don't be so sentimental, the little girl puffed up her face and turned her head to one side. I'm just worried that you will live on the streets after leaving the Su family. Then you still can't bear to leave me. Feng Ling raised her eyebrows. Su Zioxi, I didn't. How could she, the dignified eldest daughter of the Su family, be reluctant to part with a woman she had only stayed with for a month? Don't even think about it. Even if Feng Ling dies, she can't. Suddenly, something heavy and warm appeared on her head. The little girl blinked and looked at Feng Ling in confusion. Feng Ling smiled and took out a card from his pocket. This is the identity card representing the residence of Lingdi. It has my address on it. If you need anything in the future, please come to me at any time. My promise to you will always count. Are you really? Su Zioxi looked at the visibly luxurious card in her hand. It was the proof of Emperor Ling's identity and could not be faked. Feng Ling, who are you? He's someone you can hold my thighs with. Don't worry, I won't charge you any money. Feng Ling stretched out her hand and pinched the little girl's face. Tisk, this collagen is so good. Su Zioxi, of course you can't accept my money. I am the eldest lady of the Su family. Why is this person so annoying? I'm going to study, don't worry, I will go to you, not for your help, but to see if what you said is true. Su Zioxi finished choking Feng Ling, stamped her feet and slammed the door shut. The world suddenly became quiet, but her heartbeat also began to speed up. Su Zioxi rubbed her hair irritably. Really, why would she be attracted to a woman? Obviously the younger brother is more handsome and good-looking. Feng Ling stood quietly at Su Zioxi's door for 2 minutes before turning and leaving. I have never raised a daughter before. So, is it such a wonderful feeling to raise a daughter? Feng Ling was in a good mood and squinted her eyes. It seemed that she had to work hard. After all, her son had to be raised in poverty, while her daughter had to be raised in wealth. With this thought, Feng Ling took out her mobile phone and made a call. Hey, Xiao Wang, remember to prepare my little cutie these days. My daughter is too arrogant and she has to work hard to be a mother. She is about to start fighting back. Wang's Haihong, where is his high blood pressure medicine? Little ancestor is good at everything, but he is too greedy for money. Brother Han, Emperor Ling's house has been decorated and ready to move in at any time. When Xiao was reporting on work while reading Lingyang High School's forum, Brother Han, the little girl has been scolded so badly that she's not a human being. You're not going to take care of her. Luckily, he thought Yeking Han had something in mind for that girl. He is overthinking, who is Yeking Han? A girl's first love is a killer, has thoughts about a high school student? You won't believe it until you tell the truth. The screen of Yeking Han's mobile phone was on. When Xiao noticed that his brother Han's frequency of playing with his mobile phone had increased a lot recently, so he interrupted and asked, Brother Han, what are you looking at? Yeking Han, Lingyang High School Post Bar. What do you see in Taiba? The kid told me not to do anything for the time being. Yeking Han paused. I didn't say I couldn't do anything in the future. He was still waiting to get Ling's information out of Feng Ling. If these people scared the little guy he finally caught, he would be the one to lose more than he gained. Wen Xiao. What did he just say? Didn't say anything, right? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 59. Chapter 59. The game has just begun. I don't know who bought the trending search for Feng Ling. At 0 o'clock that night, ##. Murderer Feng Ling was kept by the financial owner #. Warned by the murderer Feng Ling bullying his sister #. 3 hot searches are at the top of the capped hot search list. The national discussion suddenly reached the peak. The last time it peaked was 3 years ago, when the trending search about Feng Ling hung around for more than half a month. Until Feng Ling went to jail, the popularity continued for a while. Feng Ling was woken up by the sound of kicking on the door. Tian Hui kicked the door open without Feng Ling's consent. In anger, she scattered the books on Feng Ling's desk all over the floor. Sleep, 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 just sleep, go and see for yourself what the hot searches are saying about the Su family. I gave you food and clothing, and this is how you repay me. Hurry up and apologize to me on Weibo. Today I will also go to the school in person with you, and you will apologize to both of you and everyone else in front of all the teachers and students in the school. Tian Hui, who allows you to come in without my permission? Feng Ling looked at the books lying around. Several of them were out-of-print treasures and were worth a lot of money. They could be sold for tens of thousands. Because of Tian Hui's fall, a big hole was missing in the inner page. Get out of my room. Who do you think you are? Tell me to get out. Tian Hui laughed. Feng Ling, let me tell you, the Su family is raising you now. If we hadn't pitied you, you would be begging on the street right now. Sister, just give in to your aunt. After all, this matter is indeed your fault. It's okay with me. Sister, you don't need to apologize to me. You just need to apologize to everyone and make them willing to keep you in school. Feng Shuang got up listening to the noise, her eyes still a little hazy with sleepiness. She grabbed Tian Hui's arm and shook it affectionately. Auntie, don't be angry with sister. Sister, she definitely didn't mean it. Then she did it on purpose. Shuang, you don't have to speak for her, Tian Hui said sternly. Feng Ling, put your clothes on for me now, and we'll go to the school to find the principal immediately. Why are you so anxious, Feng Shuang, you know exactly how this hot search came about in this case, we might as well make the matter a little bigger. Feng Ling walked toward Feng Shuang step by step, lowered her head and whispered softly in her ear, Feng Shuang, you don't really think that I was forced to go to prison 3 years ago because I was incompetent? She smiled softly, as the sun had not really risen yet, and there was still a bit of darkness in the sky, like an elf with devil's wings, blowing away layers of hair on people. Don't be anxious, the game is the only one just started. Sister, I don't understand what you are talking about. 3 years ago, 3 years ago. Feng Shuang's face turned pale and she was crumbling beside Tian Hui. No, it's impossible. 3 years have passed, and even the evidence left behind has been destroyed by her. Feng Ling will not leave any evidence, absolutely not. If so, how could she still be willing to go to jail for 3 years on her behalf? No, it's impossible. Feng Ling looked at Feng Shuang's look and felt it was funny. No, you know. Shuang, don't listen to her nonsense. Tian Hui protected Feng Shuang and looked at Feng Ling like an enemy. Get dressed quickly and get out of here. Feng Ling raised her head and was about to say something when she saw a lonely figure behind Tian Hui. The little girl seems to like the big raccoon in her hand. Tian Hui, let me give you a piece of advice, cherish the people around you. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 60. Chapter 60, Then It's Okay for Me to Be an Outsider. Bang, a dull sound of closing the door sounded, and the affectionate mother and daughter were isolated by the cold door. Tian Hui was about to say something angrily when she turned her head and found Su Zioxi standing behind them expressionlessly holding a raccoon. The pupils are dark, and the reflected shadow cannot be seen. Subconsciously, Tian Hui took her hands out of Feng Shuang's arms, feeling a little weak for no reason. Xiao 11, why are you up? Su Zioxi moved her fingers and squeezed the raccoon even more tightly. She said in a voice that was still slightly hoarse in the morning without emotion, I woke up and got up. She hasn't been sleeping well lately anyway, and she can wake up at the slightest movement, let alone as big a movement as Tian Hui's. Is breakfast ready? I'm hungry. Oh, okay, Mom will take you down. Tian Hui reached out to take Su Zioxi's hand, but was avoided by the girl. No need, I can go by myself. Actually, I'm not very hungry, I just don't want to see them so intimate. That will make her feel that she is the one who destroyed their family. Tian Hui was stunned for a moment, and then said, then let your sisters go to eat with you. Okay, Zioxi, let's go. Feng Shuang walked to Su Zioxi's side with a sweet voice. But Su Zioxi avoided it like the plague. I can eat it by myself and don't need anyone to accompany me. Tian Hui frowned upon hearing this. Why are you kids so angry so early in the morning? Your sisters are not your enemies. Besides, since your sister Shuang has come to our house, she is a family member. Su Zioxi, Can you have a better attitude? What kind of outsiders are not outsiders? Then I'm an outsider, okay. Suzuyoxi's fist was hidden in the raccoon's belly, trembling crazily where Tianhui couldn't see it. There were a few red bloodshot eyes in the whites of her eyes that made her blink. She was very weak. Having been supported since she was a child, she didn't know how to tell Tianhui that Feng Shuangshuang was not what she saw. She stared at Tianhui closely, the struggle, disappointment, and grievance in her pupils all bursting out with tears that night. Suzuyoxi bit her lip, "Are you my mother or her mother? It was you who came out of my belly, and of course I am your mother." Suzuyoxi loosened her fingertips slightly, and then suddenly heard Tianhui say, "But you also know that your sister Shuangshuang lost her mother at such a young age, and I raised Shuangshuang as my own daughter. Zioxi, don't be ignorant, you should be happy to have a sister like Shuangshuang." The raccoon fell on the ground and was covered in dust. Suzuyoxi looked at the raccoon on the ground blankly. "So, is this it?" It turns out that the family love that she cherished so much was easily obtained by Feng Shuangshuang as long as her grades were better and she pretended to be good. A hard slap hit Suzuyoxi's face silently, but as heavy as a piece of gold, and it hurt. Suzuyoxi turned around and stepped on the stairs step by step like a puppet. The light in front of her gradually dimmed in her eyes. "Little ancestor, Xiao Wang, is my little cutie ready?" Smilage page. Wang's Haihong was lying in bed early in the morning, and after seeing this news in a daze, his mind felt as if cooling oil had been dripped, and he suddenly became sober. Grass. Why did this little ancestor remind him so early in the morning that he was going to bleed today? Just after I finished complaining, my phone vibrated again. End of this chapter.